Hello, my name's Charles Delastic. I'm the Managing Director of Blue Bond Tax Planning. We've been inheritance tax specialists for more than 18 years and have helped hundreds of clients save millions of pounds on their inheritance tax and saving that inheritance tax over time. So today's video is focused on the recent budget changes which announced that pensions are now going to be liable for UK inheritance tax, and most importantly, what you can do about it. So welcome back, and today's video is entitled How to Avoid Inheritance Tax on Your Pension Due to the Changes in the 2024 Budget. So I'm not going to be covering all aspects of IHT that rose in the budget, things like the impact on farms and businesses. I'm going to be sticking only to pensions for this video and then work on some of the others as we go forward. So pensions used to be IHT tax-free on death, but from April 2027 they will be added to your estate for the IHT calculation. Now the government's justification for that was that, not being political at all, but the Conservatives took away the cap on the pensions allowances, and therefore people were able to save significant amounts into pensions and then pass them on to their children using it as an IHT vehicle rather than what the government says it's designed to do, which is provide an income in retirement. So that's their justification for it, but whatever the reasons, it is as it is, it's going to be liable for UK inheritance tax. So firstly, any pension death benefits that are going to spouses and civil partners will still be covered by the spousal exemption, and therefore that will not be taxable. It's still not clear on all the rules on this pension. It's not going to come in until April 2024, and they are providing for a consultation in the next couple of years, which will iron out all the, well, at least some of the anomalies that are going forward. It seems that even if you put money into an annuity and you are getting a fixed income, that's also an issue, because any unused annuity would also be subject to tax. No doubt that will come out in the consultation. So what are the implications first of all? The impact is going to be huge. This is going to draw many more people into IHT. House prices are starting to go up again quickly due to the interest rates drops. So what's the obvious implication? Yeah, it's going to affect your liability to inheritance tax, and as I say, it's going to draw a lot more people in, probably double the number of people that are paying IHT. As the value is added to the estate, another implication could mean that you could lose your residential nil rate band if it drives the deceased estate over £2 million. Because if somebody dies with over £2 million, second death, not first death, in a married couple, then they could lose their residential nil rate band. And if the pensions are being added to it, then obviously this has a much higher potential for happening. In terms of defined benefit schemes, there doesn't seem to be any major issues here. So they're going to be stopping on death anyway, and therefore not subject to tax. The major impact is on defined contribution schemes. So it seems there's no changes to income tax on pension death benefits. However, this does seem a little bit biased to me when compared to defined benefit schemes, with the vast majority of those are now government schemes, but you know, it is what it is. So there's no changes on income tax on your defined contribution scheme, which is what you're doing when you're putting money into your pension. So the income tax on the person receiving the benefits for the pension from the deceased person is still free of tax, provided that person died who had the pension before age 75. If they died post 75, the amount of money being withdrawn from the pension plan is subject to the income tax at their highest marginal rate. So that means it's possible that you could be paying high rate tax on the withdrawal of the money, and also then pay inheritance tax on that money when the second spouse dies. So as allowances have not increased, inflation and the growth in the value of your assets over time is going to make the problem significantly worse. So you really need to take action much more urgently than you did before, because obviously no one knows when they're going to die. So now the important bit. So what can you do about it? So all information on pension IHT liabilities must be submitted to HMRC within 6 months of the deceased person dying. However, pension scheme providers are very slow and very inefficient. We've dealt with them for 20 years. It is a nightmare to get information out of them. Therefore, my first step would say, consider getting proper advice and consolidating your pensions into one plan. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to leave your family with an administrative nightmare to deal with if you die earlier than expected. So you should be doing that now. Okay. Urgent action. Before, no big issues. Plenty of pensions. It's all free on IHT. No big deal. Okay. You've still got to deal with it. Right. But now you've got to submit it within 6 months, and pension scheme providers may take 3 or 4 months to even get around to dealing with you. So sort it out while you're alive, consolidate everything into one pension, probably better anyway for diversification and making sure that you've got the right plans. The 25% tax-free cash, it's still available to be withdrawn. So that's good, because you can allocate those benefits to a trust, right? Now, if you want to during lifetime, it could also go into family investment companies. You could take the whole death benefits and allocate them to a trust if you die before age 75. However, this may not be possible after the consultation is finished, because it's a fairly obvious loophole. Now, the 25% tax-free cash, as I say, could be invested in a trust, ideally a flexible reversionary trust, which allows you to return the capital. Most advisors don't understand these plans to a high degree, but I think they're very, very useful. So if you do a gift to a normal discretionary trust of your 25% tax-free cash, that will remove it from your estate after 7 years, but of course you cannot access the funds, which sort of seems to defeat the object of a pension fund. Okay, the tax-free cash could also be placed into, say, a family investment company as a director's loan, and then the loan withdrawn over time from your pension. However, it's a loan, it's still in your estate. Or if you feel that you don't need that money, you could gift that director's loan away to your children. You live 7 years and bang, it's outside of your estate. Now, I won't go into depth on that. See the other videos that I have on my website in relation to family investment companies. Now, what happens if you're older and this has really hit you badly because you've got a big pension fund and you think you may not live 7 years? Okay, business property relief plans are an option. They are still IHT free up to £1 million. So not AIM stocks, right, but other business relief plans. There are investment risks for the unwary. So you need to make sure you're taking experienced advice. We've been dealing with these types of plans for more than 20 years for our clients. So I think we know our way around it. Okay, but be careful of the investment risk on those types of plans, because you are invested in the individual companies, whereas in, let's say, a flexible reversionary trust, you're invested in a fund, which means you may be spread across 25,000 different companies, as opposed to into 5 or 6 if we put a portfolio together for you for BPR plans. Another thing you could do is to set up a drawdown arrangement and then take the money as income and then use the gifts out of normal income rules to pass the money on to your children if the excess is what you don't need. But obviously, as you're drawing it down, the rest of the money is still in your pension, so probably an insurance policy to cover you for while you're drawing it down might be a sensible approach. So, final thing here, what do you really need to do? You need to get advice. It's more important than ever that you get specialist advice in this area. It's absolutely paramount that it's specialist, because most advisors have not got the range of experience to deal with this now. So most normal financial advisors are pension focused, but they're not very experienced on dealing with IHT, and especially anything to do with family investment companies, for those of you whose asset bases are now going to be over £1 million with regards to your pensions as well. Now, we've specialised in this area of IHT advice for more than 20 years, and we only deal with clients whose assets are over 1 million. So therefore our experience is pretty high in this area. Look at the videos on our website, right? I'm going to be producing more on the impact of this budget, but there's lots of other videos on there. It's probably the biggest resource for inheritance tax in the UK at the moment. So look at the videos on our website. You could attend one of our free Saturday morning webinars to learn more. However, this is the point. Take action. You need to plan it properly. You need to start taking action. And before you take action, you need to have a proper plan, long term, from now until you die, as to how you deal with your IHT and how this deals with your pensions and how it's all integrated. Join one of our webinars, see how you feel, and then if you decide to move forward with us, we charge a very, very low fee to engage and give you advice. Thanks for listening. Bye for now. Bye.